Good morning, and thank you very much for joining me today. So, our discussion is going to be on news, blogging, as well as newsletters today. Uh, these are the modules that you're going to be using in order to utilize the content that we provide to you on weekly and monthly basis in order to communicate with your contacts and your leads, as well as to create content in order to be able to more effectively and efficiently communicate with your sphere of influence. So let's go ahead and take a look at the modules. I want to try to cover as much as possible today, so that you'll get an idea of the entire suite of content generation and um, uh, the tools and capabilities that are available within them. So the first module that we are basically going to be looking at is the news and blogs module. So this is a very straightforward, easy to use, and important module to be aware of, and it allows you to basically use some of the content that we provide to you every week, as well as create your own content if you wish to do so. Now, at the very top, you see a stream of news articles that we update every week. So these are local real estate news that is going to be available here at the top of your news and blogs section, we update them once every week, and it happens every Monday, unless the Monday is a holiday, which we'll do it on the coming Tuesday, basically. So at the beginning of the week, you have 6 new articles available. These are all recent and local that you can use as part of your CRM communication. Now, one of the articles will automatically be added to your website every week, so that in that way, your website is going to be up to date, uh, uh, at least with a news article weekly. So if someone comes to your website, they're going to be able to see, an ongoing effort in posting the latest happenings in the real estate world. And this is what you have there. So for instance, if you go back to the blog post, you see here the news article that's been marked with a star has been added to your website. So it's already available right here on the website. So what we do is that we basically create a bridge between your website and where the actual news article is being published. So we are, in a way, going to send the reader over to the source of the news article. That's because we do not want to be in the risk of content infringement. However, we basically send over the reader through our website to that article. This is a good way to keep your audience up to date, and it's also a good gesture for your audience to see that you are maintaining a website that's up to date with the latest real estate news and articles. All right. Now, apart from this first one that's been added to your website, you have 5 more that you can add to your website, as well as your social media. Also use in your email marketing campaigns for the rest of the week. So you always have enough content to discuss, to start discussions with your audience throughout the week, using these articles that we selectively post for you right here. So this is a set of documents that are available, set of articles that are available for your use per your preference. Now, if I want to add another one of the articles to my website, all I would need to do is to click on Add to Posts. This is going to be added to the posts. Let's go ahead and refresh the page. So you see that the article is now added to my posts. and it's also available on the website. So if I go to my website and I refresh my news page, we're going to see that, sorry, let's go back to the news page. There it is. So that article is now added to my website as well. So you can see that the article has been added to the website right here. Now, apart from sending this to your website, apart from posting this to your website, you can also go ahead and email this article out to your contacts. So that's definitely a good option for you to communicate with your sphere of influence. So what you would need to do is to select email and then send out the email to the contacts that you wish to send them out to. So this way you're going to be able to send a news article every couple of days to your sphere of influence. Try to monitor and see the people who, in fact, are receptive to the news articles. Try to engage with the people who are receptive, and capitalize on the fact that they are willing to communicate on the subject. So this would be a good thing to stay in touch, a good thing to stay on top of mind, and a good thing to influence the decision making of your audience if it is time for them to decide to go with a realtor for a consultation session at least. So that's how you can add an email. You can also go ahead and share the news article on your social media as well. So you can simply click and share on Facebook, click and share on Twitter, and click and share on LinkedIn. And this way you're going to be able to have the news article available on your social media as well. Now, this will have several different effects once you start sharing your news articles on your social media as well. Even the email campaign as well. So firstly, you are expanding your footprint. So you are, making yourself available on more than one front. So it's not just your website, it's your website, your email audience, as well as your social media audience. So all of that is good because you're now present where it would be more convenient for the audience to touch base with you. Now, the second effect that this practice is going to have is that it is going to increase your SEO performance as well. For those of you who haven't heard of SEO, it stands for Search Engine Optimization. And it's basically a practice which improves the ranking of your website on search engines, particularly Google. So the more pointers you have to your website, the more effective your SEO is going to be. Now, by sharing my news articles on a regular basis on the social media as well as my by email, this is going to reinforce the fact that there are more and more links pointing to my website from around other platforms. Now, if you are able to get any sort of a traction, any sort of an interaction on any one of these platforms, that is going to be much more effective in terms of improving the efficiency of your search engine optimization. So if anybody clicks on those links that are available in the email, if anybody reshares your posts on social media, on Facebook or Twitter, if someone interacts and reacts to your comments on LinkedIn, for instance, these are all great tools for you to be able to not only communicate but also increase your visibility online. So it definitely would be a good idea for you to make this an ongoing practice. It starts from zero, but it'll definitely build up to a big and useful network. Okay. Now, so you have all these available. You can go, once every day or once every other day and share some of these content with your clients on an ongoing basis. Um, if you want to create your own content, what you would need to do is to go to the Add New section right here, click on that button, and now you can create a custom post. Now, adding a custom post is fairly straightforward. There are just several different elements to it that you need to make sure that you configure properly. The first thing is the post title. Now, the post title obviously is the title of the post. This will also be the subject of your email if you choose to email this post out to your contacts afterwards. So select your post title carefully so that it would be, uh, you know, it would be interesting, and people would be tempted to take a look at what's inside, basically. So that'll be your title that you put in there. The next section is the description. So the description is usually a blurb that would briefly explain what it is that they're going to be seeing in the post body, which is the main section of the news. Now, the description, it makes sense if you put in your opinions in the description section. It's very interesting for the reader to see what your opinion is about a news article that's been published publicly. The news articles are available. They might even have already read the article. They might have even already heard about the subject on a radio going to work in the morning, for instance. But as soon as they see your opinion on that article, on that subject, that's what makes this interesting. So, for instance, if we're talking about, interest rates going up, so that's all over the news. Everybody hears about that. Everybody knows about it. But when I read your opinion about, what effect that's going to have on the short-term or long-term real estate market, for instance, that's where it becomes interesting. And I'd like to see what you have to say as a professional on the matter, right? So description could be, well, I would suggest that you put in your opinion in there, and I always suggest that whenever you have, a um, an email going out or a post sent out to your social media, you always have call to actions in that description section as well. Call to actions like, why don't we talk about this? If you have any questions, feel free to call me. I'd love to chat about this. What are your opinions? Let me know what your opinion is. Reply to this email and let me know what you think, or, write your comments below and let me think what your opinion is. So if you call for the reader to take an action, it's more probable for them to actually go ahead and take the action. So you're inviting them to reply, you're inviting them to disagree, you're inviting them to to put in their own input onto the matter. And that's what triggers conversation. That's what triggers um, uh, attention to what you're posting right there. So the description section, be opinionative, be uh, uh, open to them responding back to you, and invite that, in fact. And then in the post body, you can have all the the rest of the content available. Now, the only thing that I would um, uh, suggest that you be cautious of here is copyright infringement. You don't want to copy and paste things off of the internet. You don't want to use pictures that you just got off of a Google search. You don't want to use the exact content from a third-party article. You have to be careful and within the boundaries of copyright law. so that you wouldn't be subject to any, infringement accusations. So, but what I would suggest is, either have your own content, so rewrite the article and make it your own, or you just want to be pointing to the articles that you're referring to. So that can easily be done. You can, as you're, writing down the content, you can also, put in things like, read more on Globe and Mail, for instance, and then you can hyperlink this with the link option right there. You can hyperlink that to the globe.com/article, whatever. So you take that article's URL and you point to that article. So this is good. You can have something written just a little bit and then point to the actual article right there. So if you're using other articles as part of your content, make sure that you don't copy and paste. Instead, you refer to the actual publisher. All right. Now, once you have yours, obviously, I'm not going to get into the details of creating, but you could definitely play around with this. You can add pictures, you can add videos, you can add tables here. You can change your, your fonts and colors and everything. So you can make it pretty. You can make it interesting. And once this is prepared, you can decide whether you want to post this to the website or not by simply clicking on the add to the website toggle right here. Now, you can post the article to your website and it will show under the news section on your website, or you might want to keep it as a draft if you're still going to be working on it. Sometimes you might not want to, you might want to simply email the content out, and you don't want it to be necessarily posted to your website as well. So you don't have to have it on your posted to your website if your only intention is to email the content out. So for the sake of testing, I'm not going to post it to the website so you can see what happens there. Now, before finalizing here, you would also need to select a featured image. So if you want to post to website, post to social media, there's going to be a thumbnail image attached to that post all the time. Now, this is going to be your thumbnail image. You can go ahead and select it from your basically your collection of pictures, or you can also go ahead and upload any other pictures for the thumbnail there. So you select the thumbnail and then you save the article right there. Now, remember that I didn't post it to the website. So let's go back to the news and blog right here. So we have the testing article right there. So this is the one that we just created, and right here under this column, you can see that it's not posted on the website. Now that it's not posted on the website, if I click on the actions, I can email the article, but I cannot share on social media anymore. Because it's not on my website, I can't share it on social media. The reason is because if you share something to social media, then if someone clicks on that link, they want to come back to your website and see the article on your website. So that link on social media should be pointing to a valid link on your website. However, because I haven't posted it on my website, the system is not going to allow me to share it on social media. But I can still email it, because email is going to take the article, put it in an email, and then send it out to your contacts, and they don't need a valid landing page on the website for that purpose. So I can go ahead and email this out. Otherwise, I can edit and post to the website. And now that it's available on my website, I can go ahead and share to social media as well. So that's a little thing that you should be aware of. And now that it's posted to my website, you can see that it's already available here as well. And that's the reason why I can share it to social media as well. Let's go ahead and delete this now. And we're good. All right. So now let me go ahead and show you another module, which is the newsletters module. So the newsletters module is also a very interesting module that you can use in terms of communicating with your audiences. With a slightly different purpose. So here we are, more collective. We want to be more. Uh, the emphasis is going to be on newsletters and creating more complex content, basically. All right. So you have several different sets of newsletters available to you in this stream of newsletters. So the first thing, you can see the type here. It says newsletter. That's the monthly newsletter that we make available every month. So this is the April newsletter, and it usually consists of the uh, Toronto Real Estate Board update with a market report, as well as a couple of interesting events that are happening in the month. So it would make it interesting for your clients to uh, to take a look at and read every month and expect every month, basically. There's a set of newsletters that would be available to you if you are part of, one of the brokerages that we work with on a brokerage level. Would be a brokerage newsletter. So those are the newsletters that are prepared for you by your brokerage and made available to you here. So for instance, you can see here that this newsletter has been prepared for, those uh, uh, agents in the brokerage that are working under the Hamilton Board jurisdiction, for instance. So again, this has been prepared for you by your brokerage. It's more specific to your practice, and it's again ready for you to be utilized. So your brokerage has done this for you. You can just simply go ahead and use this as well. So what do we need to do with the newsletters that are already available for me? I just need to go ahead and select actions and email. I can go ahead and email the newsletter out to my contacts. The same thing goes for your brokerage newsletter as well. So you can just simply go ahead and email this out as well. So you can just simply go ahead and select the newsletter that's made available for you on a monthly basis, and you can just go ahead and email it out to your contacts. So it makes it simple, makes it easy, and it's a valuable set of content that's already sitting waiting for your action right here. So why not take a look every month and make this a habit as well? So you're sending an update of the market to your sphere of influence every single month, which is very, very valuable in the sense of CRM communication. Now, you can also create custom newsletters as well. So that's another set of newsletters that you can have here, and those are the ones that you are making. Now, it's very straightforward. Again, you can add a custom newsletter, and here what you can do is that you can add different sets of content to build a newsletter. It's very, very easy to use, and it's very comprehensive. You have all sorts of content that you can add to your newsletter, and you can easily build one or multiple newsletters every month and send it out to your contacts. And this is going to be a very, very efficient system of communication with your contacts. Email marketing is at the top of the hierarchy when it comes to effectiveness of reach. And then you're basically utilizing that channel to its best when you have the right content to be shared through email marketing there. So again, we have two sections to fill at the top. So that's the newsletter title. So again, remember, this is also going to be the email subject when you send out the email. Then we have the newsletter description. So that's what comes after the salutation. And we want to be, inviting in the words that we use here as well, in the context that we write our comments in the description section. So yet again, you put the description in there. So, this is a monthly update for the month of whatever, and then I always strive to keep you up to date. Let me know what you think about this, and if you have any questions, call me. So all those kind of things would go into the description as well. And then down bottom, we can start adding content. So we have several different buttons at the top right here. We can add listings, we can add market reports, we can add text areas, we can add images, videos, news articles, we can add titles, buttons, as well as breakers, which is just a breaker line, which would separate the two sections in the newsletter. So let me go ahead and start by adding a title right here. So adding a title would have two sections to it. A header. So let's say I want to say, okay, so I want to say April market update, and then we can have a subheader. So let's say this is how the market trends have been during the month of April, for instance. All right. I'm going to be even more specific if you want to, in Richmond Hill, for example. I'm going to add that. So this is my title right there. And now I'm going to add a piece of content right after that. So let's say I want to add the market reports for Richmond Hill down here. So all I would do is to click on the reports. Now we have two sets of reports here. We have the TREB reports. These are the official reports that are offered by TREB, and we have them separately available here. And we have the Market Watch, which are all the statistics and information based on all the data that we have. So anything outside of TREB or anything more up to date, you can use the Market Watch instead of the TREB reports. But if you want to use the numbers that are officially made available by TREB in your report, you can go ahead and use this one right there. So what I will do now is look for Richmond Hill, and I'm going to add the Richmond Hill market report down below right here. So you can see this is the Richmond Hill market report, and I've got all the statistics and information available in that market report for Richmond Hill. So that is going to be a very useful piece of information that I can include in my newsletters, and you could just see how easy it is to add them in. So you can create as many newsletters as you want, and you can have one for Richmond Hill, one for Aurora, one for Newmarket, one for Markham, one for North York. So you can basically have a newsletter generated for every subset of audiences that you have, and make it local to their interests. So you can send an Ajax market report to your audiences in Ajax. You can send a Brampton market report to your audiences in Brampton. So this makes it even more interesting for them to expect to come from you every month than just the general GTA stuff or more generic things and numbers that are available by all the agents here. So now you have something that's specific to their interest, and this obviously resonates with your audiences. Now let's say that I want to have some analysis added underneath this. So what I can do is that I can add in a text area, and I can put my my analysis into this section right there. So I can basically go ahead and put in the content that I want. So this is my analysis, and I can add that in at the bottom. So that's my analysis right underneath that. If you want to add an image, you can just simply go ahead and add an image right there. So we simply can select from the images that we have, and we can add images to the newsletter as well. Same thing goes for videos as well. So you can just copy and paste the YouTube link in this section right here, and the system is going to add a video to your newsletter as well. Now, other things that are interesting to have is things like news, for example. So let me go ahead and add another header. Latest real estate news. I add that right here. And then I want to add some news. So you can see that I have direct access to everything that I had in my news and blogs. So anything that's already available in my news and blogs, whether it's one of those news articles that we had made available to you, or the ones that you create, are all going to be available here. And all you would need to do is to select the ones that you want to be included here. And you can see that the latest real estate news that you selected are also going to be included in there. Now, let's say I also want to promote some of my listings at the end. So I'm going to add another header here. Our newest listings, for example. So I added another header right there, and now I'm going to add listings. So all you would need to do is to click on that, and then you have access to all the listings available under your listing manager. So you can go ahead and say, all right, so I want, let's say, this one and this one added right there. So these two listings are added. Both are sold, so you could say our latest sold properties or whatever. So what I'm trying to say is that you can also include sold listings in here as well. You can also include things like pre-construction. So newly launched pre-construction projects, for example, right? So I can add another title right that in there, and I'm going to add pre-constructions as well. So let's go ahead and say, all right, so the festival condos and the Wellmonts, these are the two that I want to include in there. So two projects like that are going to be added in the email as well. So you see, it only took a few minutes for me to put together a very, very rich set of content for a newsletter. And I can just go ahead and click generate, and this is how it's going to look like. So a clean, well-structured, and very rich and informative newsletter for you to be able to send to your contacts. So all I need to do is to click save, go back to newsletters, and I have this available right there. I can go ahead and email it out to my contacts right then and there. So it's a very, very interesting tool. It's a very effective communication tool as well. So I would highly suggest that you start using your newsletters, start making custom newsletters. It is really efficient when you want to communicate with your clients. You can really be creative as well. You don't have to be a listing agent to be able to share listings. You can be very specific, find very specific and hard to come by properties from MLS and just share them here and inform your clients. Deliver a service that isn't matched by any app or any search engine out there. It definitely needs an agent's eyes for that. Now, let me also show you one quick perk here. Let's say that you want to, so we created this newsletter for our audience in Richmond Hill. Now let's say you want to create the same newsletter, but this time you want to send it to your audience in Markham. So I can either start over, or what I can do is that I can clone this one. So it basically creates a copy of that. And then I can just simply change that for uh, basically for Markham. So there it is. So that's the cloned one. I can now go ahead and say, all right, so I'm going to change this one. I'm going to add another market report, this time for Markham. Everything else is the same, but I just added Markham instead. So I'm going to move this back into place. So let's move it up all the way up, and it goes right above this section right there. All right, so now I have the Markham market report right there. So I can go ahead and change this to Markham and then generate and save this. So if I go to newsletters, now I have one for Markham and then the other one for which was for Richmond Hill right there. So this is a good feature as well. You can go ahead and clone articles in order to be able to recreate the same article, just change a little bit of it for different audiences. So if you want to create a newsletter for your several different audiences, it's easy. You could just create one and then just recreate the same one for different audiences and change the little bits that would have to be changed in those, and then be able to send the articles, the newsletters to the proper audiences. All right, so let me go ahead and stop here and take some of your questions. Let me take a look here. We do have one question from Alexander. So good morning, Alexander. Thank you very much for joining me. So your question is there a way to send another email to those that haven't opened the first email in 24 hours? If we can have an overview of the open rates of the emails, like a dashboard, that would be great. So you do have the option of reviewing that. And thank you very much for asking that question, because it's pretty important. Let me show you one by one how things would work. So basically, either in news and blogs or newsletters or pretty much any other module that you have the ability to email content out, you also have under actions a section called statistics. So this is where you can see that report that you're talking about. You can see how many emails have been submitted, how many of them have been sent and opened, how many of them have been clicked, and if you've had any unsubscribed emails as well as a result of that campaign. So you can easily see that your campaign summary is going to give you a pie chart showing you the efficiency of the campaign in terms of the open rate and the click rate, and you also have an email summary. So this one would be a list of emails that have opened or clicked through or unsubscribed or have received and not yet opened it. So you have that list available in here as well. So if you want to send another email to the people who have, let's say, clicked through this email, you can see the list right here, and you can then selectively send those emails to those people right there. So you have this available. You have it available under news and blogs. So if I email anything out, I can then go back to the statistics right here and see the report for that specific campaign as well. Now, you also have a general log, which is under dashboard. So if you go to your dashboard and you look at email marketing down here, you have a full log right there. So this log is going to show you, everything that's happening on the fly. So as soon as you send out, you can see how things are changing over. So for instance, I know that this email has gone out and it has been opened. This one has been opened and clicked through. This one was sent but never opened. This one was sent and never opened. So this is a general log. So you can see that in the previous statistics section, that's campaign specific. This one is account specific. So it's all the emails that are going out, not just by you, but also the system emails that are going out as well. So all of those would be monitored in here as well. So you can use these logs in order for you to be able to to achieve what you're trying to achieve right there. All right, so don't have any further questions. If anything comes up, send it out to us, service@remarketer.ca, and we'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. I hope this was informative for you and useful. I highly suggest that you use these modules. They're easy to use. The content is sitting in there for you. Even if you don't want to create any content, you can just utilize that. And having some regular means of communication will take your CRM activity to the next level. Let me just take this final question from Alex as well. Opened versus sent. Yes. So if you see sent here, it means that the email has been delivered to the recipient, but they haven't opened it. They might just have deleted it or neglected it, so they haven't opened it. So it did go to them, but they didn't open the email. But opened means that it did go to them and they have opened and read the email as well. Now, there are links in that email. So for instance, in that newsletter that we created, those properties, those pre-construction properties that I shared, they have read more. They're clickable. You can click and go to the website and read more about those pre-construction properties as well. So if anybody clicks on any one of the links, which shows an even higher level of interest, then they would be marked as clicked right here. So you can see all of that in here as well: open, sent, and clicked. And if you for any reason that person had unsubscribed, you'd see that in here as well. So you would know that this person is not happy with the content that you were sent out to them. So it's advised that you don't communicate with them with the same set of content anymore. All right, so enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe, and I'll see you again next week, same time. Take care.